Yo, what's good, everybody, and welcome to another Tyler Perry Sisters review. If this is your first time coming to my channel, welcome. If you are a returning family member, then you already know what it is and what it always will be. Be sure to like, comment, share, subscribe. Tell somebody to tell somebody if you choose to. If not, just sit back, relax while we get into this messy thing. Now, one of my YouTube family members wanted me to talk about the brief scene that we saw between Karen and Danni when Danni tells Karen that she has a lot of resentment towards her. I was able to see the preview. However, I was not in a position to record it. So I do not have the footage for those who have not or have no idea what I'm talking about. It's in one of those extra previews that they put out after the episode has aired, and there was just quickly, and I mean quickly, a brief moment between Karen and Danni where Danni expresses the fact that she has a lot of resentment towards Karen. I did find it very interesting. However, over the years, we have learned we do not get our hopes up when we're watching these previews. So thank you, family member, for bringing that to my attention. However, I was gonna talk about it anyway, and so I'm gonna just say this, right? I'm gonna say this. There have been countless of opportunities in season 7 for Karen and Danni to discuss and talk about what the issue is that exists between their dynamic. I'm not going to say friendship, even though the friendship is in quotation marks on the thumbnail. I just don't consider them friends. So I'm not even going to bring up the word friendship. I'm going to say their dynamic. Where they have actually had personal alone time. And I'm thinking like, okay, yes, this is the moment that they're going to talk about it and just bear it all. And nothing ever happens. I mean, nothing ever happens. They have had so many times to disclose, to discuss, to reveal whatever the issue is. And at the end, we always come up empty-handed. So my hope for this upcoming episode is that whatever it is that Danni has bottled up comes to the damn surface. Because at this point, I'm starting not to give a damn. I'm really starting not to give a damn, and I've already summed it up as Danni just being a low down, dirty, disrespectful, underhanded, messy, unhappy, insecure, riddled individual. And I'm sure if I had more time to think about it, I could come up with some more adjectives. But for time's sake, I'm just going to leave it at that. Okay, because at this point, it's just past ridiculous. And I don't even have an issue with Danni having resentment towards Karen. My issue is the fact that she actually has resentment towards someone who she considers a best friend and a sister, and she never does anything to actually acknowledge or deal with those feelings. That's what I have the issue with. And it seems like when she does have a moment of acknowledgement, she allows those feelings that she has to push her into doing things that are just so disrespectful. And what I mean by that is Danni is just one of those women who, I don't believe in being violent. I'm not even that type of individual. But Danni is someone whose ass I will beat on sight. Because if you don't like me, cool, don't like me. But you don't have to go out of your way to try to hurt me, harm me, assassinate my character, and make me appear to be something that I'm not. And that is exactly what Danni has done to Karen on several occasions. And I already know that I'm going to see certain comments in the comment section of people telling me that, Karen doesn't know how to treat people. Karen is not a good friend. But I want those same people to tell me what season and episode has Karen ever intentionally tried to hurt Sabrina, Andy, or Danni. I'll wait. When has she ever done anything to expose them to their significant other or trying to hurt them by degrading or bringing up their past sexual history with who they may be dating at the time? She's never done that. Not once, not even joked about it. And Danni is somebody who told Karen that she effed Zach only to hurt her because Danni was hurt by what she thought they were saying or what she thought Karen was saying behind her back, even though Karen told her straight up, yeah, I said that, but whatever I said behind your back, I've said it to your face. We all have. So my whole thing is, if everybody has said things to you behind your back and they've also said it to your face, what has caused Danni to have such this strong irritation or this strong disregard towards Karen and not anyone else? Why does she believe that Karen looks down on her but not Andy? I'm like, if anything, Andy is the one who really looks down on you. Andy is the one who believes if I just feed the monster, if I just feed you, you'll tell me what I want to hear. And Andy has not been wrong. When Andy wants something, she know to wave money in Danny's face. When Andy wants something, she know, let me take her out to eat because I know she going to butter me up. And Danni is going to stroke Andy's ego, especially when money or food is involved, so she can get her alcohol and her weed, since that's all she ever seems to want out of life, other than getting, you know what I'm saying, sex every now and, well, I ain't going to say sex every now and then, sex on a consistent basis with Tony. So again, a lot of people may not like Karen's approach to friendship, and that's perfectly fine. You don't have to like it. But like I said, we've never seen her try to hurt those women who she consider her sisters. We just have never seen that. And that same thing cannot be said for Andy nor Danni. Sabrina just talks a lot, but she's never really intentionally tried to hurt Karen. Well. Let me think about that for a second. I might have to take that back. Yeah, I might have to take that back. Because even though Sabrina isn't outright or boisterous when it comes to her loyalty, especially with the women, because to me, when it comes to Maurice, she is very loud, she is very straightforward, and she is very boisterous. But for some reason, when it comes to the women in her life, she's more passive, which I don't understand, but whatever. Sabrina has done a lot of things in season 7 when it comes to her friendship with Karen that make me look at her sideways. And I'm not even talking about her telling Karen's business to Maurice. When it comes to the whole Fatima situation, when it came to that mocktail and acting like she doesn't understand why Karen is upset, like, girl, I'm looking at you sideways, Sabrina, because you following right into the narrative, sis. I used to give you some leeway, but no more, you're cut off. The grace has dissipated. It doesn't exist anymore for you, ma'am. So you need to pick a side and stay on it, because you playing double dutch is starting to get, well, it is old. It's old and it's played. Now back to Danni. Danni is one of those individuals that you really have to dispel from your circle, because she's like a cancer, to be honest. And if you don't destroy it, it will spread. I know that there are some people who love to harp on the fact that Danni has insecurities. You know, that Danni has all this stuff going on in her life, as if the other characters on the show don't have things going on in theirs. I never really understood that. However, it's no justification for Danni treating people like shh. Okay? No justification for that. Now, because we love giving examples. One thing that I will say about a lot of the sister fandom, I see it under my comment section as well as Erica's, and especially when we do our Sisters Keeper, people love to make generalized statements and they don't say anything to back up what they're saying. They'll say, well, Karen needs to leave them alone. What has she done? What is she doing? And my thing is, why people really don't give examples is because if they gave examples, they would say that the same things that they say that Karen is doing is actually what Zach is doing. And it's actually what Fatima is doing. So I'm like, that's why people don't go into detail, which I would love. Just give something to support what you're saying. If you're saying that Karen is not a good friend, what's the reason she's not a good friend other than regurgitating the narratives that you see on social media? I would truly love and appreciate that. And I know I may be asking for a little too much, even though I'm really not. But for some people, that may be a little too much. But we learned that in grammar school. We learned that in elementary school. If you're making if you're making a statement about something, I know when I was in school, you had to have 3 supporting facts to support your statement, to support what you're saying. I'm just saying, you know what I'm saying? I know a lot of us are grown and we left elementary school a long ass time ago. But let me tell you, those principles still matter. Okay? They still matter. Now let's get back to the topic at hand. Now, this is the same woman who told Zach or tried to make Karen look a certain way to Zach about her sexual history while she was in college, which had absolutely nothing to do with the matter at hand. Then she tells Tony how much Karen basically irritates her, gets on her nerves, how Karen always looked down on her, but now she's in this situation and Danni is basically relishing in it. Like, she's actually happy that Karen is going through this, which is so evil to me. Because like I stated earlier, if you don't like me, cool, don't like me. You actually don't have to have anything to do with me. But to continue to stick around knowing that you have these feelings concerning me, that is a very evil type of individual, especially in my opinion. That's just an evil type of individual. So after she tells Tony this, she sneaks off back to Karen's salon after you done spilled whatever to Zach about getting this paternity test and how basically Karen was a hoe in college, even though you're a hoe now. But anyway, I ain't coming down on hoes. I'm just saying, if you gon', call somebody out for what they're doing, baby girl, put your own head on the chopping block as well. Now, after she did all this, she snuck back to Karen's salon, came out all while drunk, might I add. Seeing Karen and Zach blow up at one another. Then she comes out and she says, all drunkenly, how she's going to be there for Karen, how she's going to be the best auntie, how Karen is not going to be alone. And I really believe that was her conscience eating away at her. But then sometimes I believe that Danni doesn't have a damn conscience. She just does what she does off of impulse and off of feelings because she feels like I cannot be done wrong, even though she wrongs everyone around her. Literally, there's literally too many scenes for me to pull up to support what I'm saying. But this is what she did. And then you have the audacity to tell somebody you got resentment towards them. Why this girl, and I think, like I said, it's been missed opportunities because when Karen went over to Danni's house to find out what exactly is going on between them, it was almost as if it's nothing. Danni does not hold herself accountable for anything that she does. And I think the interesting thing is when I speak to people, they automatically believe that I'm trying to say that Karen doesn't do things. And I'm like, I've never stated that. But when I'm having this dialogue, you have some people who truly just, utterly hates the character of Karen, that they are unwilling to see anything. And those are the people I have a issue with. Like, I can't talk to somebody like that. Like, y'all know I don't like Zach. I can't stand that bastard. But when I believe that Zach is on the up and up, or when I believe he's doing something correct or proper, I state that and I give him props for that. But it's like when you're only seeing one side and you are just refusing to see the other side, it doesn't make for great debate or conversation. But when it comes specifically to Danni and Karen, I pretty much want them to go their separate ways because at this point there is no friendship. At this point there is no sisterhood. I don't even know what they're holding on to, and there is absolutely nothing that the writers can write. I don't care who writes it, man or woman. There is nothing that anybody can write to make me believe that Karen and Danni are friends. There is nothing that anybody can write that will make me believe that Andy and Karen are friends, because I'm still stuck on the fact that Fatima told Andy that Karen is pregnant by 2 different men, and Andy has not made any type of contact with Karen. In what world? That means I don't give a damn. I ain't got time for it. And to me, that's perfectly fine, boo. And I think that's one of the things that really get me about this so-called friendship and sisterhood. It is fine if you outgrow people. It is fine if their presence in your life no longer serves you and vice versa. However, to disappear, to act nonchalant as if you don't care about them, and then pop up by saying, I'm your best friend and I love you, you can miss me with that. Because everything that these women are showing completely defies that statement that they're not friends and that they are not sisters. Clearly. Absolutely. It doesn't reflect that, not even in the least bit. And it was interesting, and I think I said this on Our Sister's Keeper a few weeks ago with me and Erica Vane, and I remember I've been binge watching Girlfriends, and that show to me has gotten better with age. It was great when it came on, but watching it as an adult is really interesting. And there was a moment between Maya and Lynn. And Maya told Lynn that you are a joke that's no longer funny. And at the time that I made the statement on Our Sister's Keeper, I was making it towards Zach. And now it's for Danni. Danni is a joke that's no longer funny. She is a show that is no longer entertaining. Really ain't never been entertaining, but it is what it is. But she's not funny. And you cannot go around hurting people because you're hurt. You cannot go around trying to destroy someone and then use the fact that I have resentment towards you as a justification. It doesn't work that way. So I really hope, even though I have no expectation, that we can actually get a dialogue between these two women and find out what the hell it's been for these whatever amount of years that has caused Danni to have this resentment. Even though, honestly, I really don't give two damns about how Danni feels, because she is a despicable individual. But since they wrote about it, they writing about it, at least do well with it. At least do well with it. Now, I'm going to say this. I'm going to add my little 2 cents because I be on Twitter, but then I don't be on Twitter like that. And I do not know the lady's name, so forgive me. I don't. The writer who wrote the last episode of Sistas, she was like, I wrote the episode tonight. Y'all be nice. When you got to say y'all be nice, you knew the episode won by nothing, ma'am. Now, don't get me wrong. You did a great job. You had some great one-liners in there when it came to the whole Hayden and Miss Marie situation. And I actually did chuckle this past episode. But again, what are we doing? That whole thing with Aaron and Karen, and by him saying what he said and walked out, there has been no contact made on either side to discuss what actually happened during that moment. And I'm really hoping that that's just not something that is left opened, which, I have grown accustomed to when it comes to this show. Things happen and we no longer hear about it ever again in life, because Jennifer, aka Curly Sue, who popped up on Aaron and called him John, we'll never know what that was. Okay, we'll never know what that was. But I just want for the writers of Sistas, and I'm not trying to be funny or messy or anything. You know what I'm saying? I don't know the ins and outs of that writer's room. I do not know the expectations that have been placed upon them, or what they have been, I'm not going to say ordered by what they have been hired to do. But what I can say, for me as a viewer of the show since the show first aired, I have watched this show decline to a level that it's almost unbearable for me to watch. And I think that we deserve better. I think we deserve more. I think that if you have a writer's room, you should be pushing each other to be your best selves, to write the best stories, to really flesh these characters out and give us what we rightfully deserve. We deserve to see brothers and sisters on television that actually have a story. And at times when I watch Sistas, I just feel like there is no more story. They just have them doing things for the sake of doing things. But what are we actually trying to convey to the audience? What are you actually trying to say? And even though they may say, oh, it's a soap opera, I get all that. I watched soaps with my grandmother as a child. And I remember, I think I was 13, 14 years old. I was watching, my favorite was The Young and the Restless, because they had great stories. That's what locked me in. That's what kept me watching. That at the age, I'm in my 30s, but I remember those characters so vividly. The Victors, the Nickies, all of them. I remember all of them. Miss Chancellor, Jack and Jill, and you know what I'm saying? All of them. Billy, Mac. Like, I remember all their names. I vividly remember their storylines because the stories were so well written. And it's sad that sometimes when it comes to Black content, instead of striving for an A, they give us a D effort. And we just got to be honest about it. And I'm going to be honest about it without trying to bash them, because that is not ever my intent. But I just had to say that because it was on my mind to say. But yeah, is it the end? Is it the end? Have we reached the finish line for Danni and Karen? I pray that we have, because I'm just tired. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of the backhanded stuff. I'm tired of the backstabbing. And I'm tired of when the knife is getting pulled out, Danni looking at Karen and asking her why she bleeding, even though you the one who stuck the damn knife in there. And I'm going to just leave it at that. I did not expect this video to be that long, but you know what I'm saying? It is what it is, and I hope you guys enjoy it. Until next time, y'all be safe out there, and I will holler at y'all later.